Good afternoon. Let me go ahead and call this special meeting of the Rio Grande City Gruya Independent School District meeting to order. It is Wednesday, August 31st, 2022. It is now 12:01, and we're at the Ringgold Elementary Library. Section 1, for purposes of determining a quorum, let me go ahead and take roll call. Mr. Elizar Velasquez Jr.,
Present.
Mr. John A. Pope IV,
Present.
Mrs. Dalinda Escobar,
Present.
Mr. Noe Castillo,
Present.
Mr. Basilio D. Varrial Jr.,
Present.
Mr. J. Peña,
Present.
and myself, Adrian Ramirez, present. Let the minutes reflect that everyone is in attendance and we do have a quorum. Section 2, Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Velasquez, will you help us with the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get into any business action items, I do have to note that we did lose a family member just a couple days ago, Mrs. Severita Guerra. She was a librarian assistant in our district for 32 years at Ringgold Middle School. She worked here long enough to where she held the distinction of being the first person to be trained to use the computer electronics for library inventory and digital procedures. So that tells you just how dedicated and devoted she was to this district. She will be missed. And at the very least, again, like we typically do, a moment of silence on her behalf, please. Thank you all so very much. Yes, Ms. No, we covered that last time. Just a few moments.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we did cover Mr. Rene Ramirez. He's a cousin of mine. We did make that announcement at the last special board meeting. So thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Varela. Section 3, action items. Item number 1, consider and take possible action on agreement between serving children and adults in need, SCAN, and Rio Grande City Gruya ISD. Do I have a motion or any discussion on item number 1?
Mr. President, I'm going to make this fairly rapid. I've gone through it. The agenda, I'm going to make a motion that we approve item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 24 as presented in our board packet. That's and I have a little discussion just on one item.
Sure, okay. There's a motion by Mr. Varela to approve every item except item 23 with some discussion. Is there a second to that motion?
Subject to an opportunity to review, seconded.
Okay. Second by Mr. Peña, subject to a little bit of review, so I'll go ahead and give you time for review. I guess in the meantime, Mr. Varela, do you want to proceed with the discussion?
My simple questions is consider and take possible action on E3 grant stipends, I guess, for principals, assistant principals. I just want to make sure that these stipends are coming out of the grant, correct?
Yes, sir.
The district is not putting one penny in those stipends up, correct?
That is correct. It's coming from the Decatur grant, and all of the money is coming from the grant
So
to pay
basi-
those stipends. It is for lead teachers, administrators, and collaborative teachers.
So basically, all that money is grant funded, correct?
Yes, it's 100% grant funded.
That's the only one I had. I know we have a lot of things of handbooks and stuff. I guess we already reviewed those and everything, right, Mr. Peña?
Yes, sir. I think we were supplemented with a blue packet, just to be clear. Some of this looks like it might be executive, right?
Okay.
So this is just what's supplemented the material that we.
Can
That is
I
correct.
add to that to my motion, just real quickly, because I forgot to add the supplement on item 5,000 and under. Where are you?
That's not item number 10, Mr. Varela.
Huh?
Item number 10.
Okay, on item number 10, I want to just basically also include the supplement that was just given to us a little while ago.
There's an amended motion by Mr. Varela. Mr. Peña, you want to second the amended motion?
I'll second as amended.
Second by Mr. Peña. Any further discussion required? I know it's a lot of
Okay.
items, so if you need some time to,
What is this agreement they gave us? AIA document?
standard form,
Design Group International?
yes.
Good afternoon. That is the agreement for the Kate addition to the high school.
Okay, it's a career in technology, correct?
Yes, sir.
You reviewed this, Mr. Alcazar?
I have.
Okay, everything's good?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And it's only for Rio Grande City High Schools,
okay.
correct, miss?
Yes.
It's a standard EIA.
Yes. Any further discussion required?
On item number 19, there's a correction.
Sure.
And I just wanted to reflect that if you look at the administrative recommendation, it said project director and 2 lead teachers. We were contacted by the grant that they wanted an administrative team, so I gave an additional form. I don't know, Mr. Peña has passed it out. It's a one-sheeter, and basically just has central office staff who will be attending, Ms. Ayala will be attending, and Dr. Salinas on behalf of the
Blue packet,
district.
the first
And
page.
then for campus administration, it'll be Jesse Rodriguez, Miguel Guerrero, and Laura Barrera. So that's an addendum there. And the grant is paying for the travel for all these individuals.
So the grant pays for everything,
They'll
correct?
pay for the travel. The only thing that on the federal grant side, that the per diem has to be spent and then reimbursed. So when they return, we will reimburse them for the receipts that they submit.
So I need to make, I guess, another motion to include this addendum and item, what item would that be?
Item number 19.
19.
Item number 19, to include the addendum just presented to us.
Okay, there's a second supplemental motion by Mr. Varela,
Second as amended.
a second by Mr. Peña. Any further discussion or additions or corrections? I don't want to take a vote if, make sure we got every other, yes, ma'am.
I had a question on, for the construction of the multipurpose center,
Okay,
the renovation and stuff, just, I just want to make it clear that whatever the cost is it going to be for completion? Is it going to be demolished? What's going to happen?
you want to discuss that? Mr. Salazar, is that something
Okay.
we can bring up?
So there's 2 sections to it, right, miss? And the first section is a renovation of the multipurpose center. That, remember, we had a portion that burned in the center of it, so we had to renovate. So the inside was gutted out, and everything inside will be new. That's for the hall. Then we took to the board to get approval to add a student faculty testing center, and that is an additional to the building.
So, but Mr. Lopez, the price includes everything, correct?
Yes, Mrs. Escobar, good question. It does include everything. The only thing that we are currently looking at right now that will be additional, it won't be that much, but we're in the process of getting quotes right now, is where the tennis courts used to be at. There's restrooms there behind. They are in very bad shape. So we are looking to get quotes to bring those down and fix up to where we can use it in the future for parking, or if we have parking eventually where the tennis courts are at, where people can walk, comfortably to the MPC. So that will be an additional cost that we are looking at, but it won't be much. In terms of the actual project, everything is covered already.
But correct me if I'm wrong, we were given a bid, and the bid includes everything, literally turnkey, correct?
Yes, sir. Everything is included. Again, the only additional is that
that
what we're looking at there to fix up.
Yeah, but to demolish it, I would imagine just a few $1,000s.
Yeah, we're not looking at, we did talk already to a couple of vendors, and they said that, they could do it at a very, efficient price. We just haven't gotten the quotes yet.
And then just for funding, it's part insurance? and then-
Yes, sir. We're funding both facilities there through insurance and ESSER.
One quick question. I know that Ms. Ramos basically paid for the materials. Are those projects already done, Mr.? Now that I got you.
On the,
The ones that Ms. Ramos paid for?
yes, the only one that they're still working a little bit on is the one here right across your business. I know they are working a little bit on the tile inside and on the door just to put, they did ask us if we wanted a key that we use pretty much with everywhere in the district, and we said no. We want just a key only for that one door to be held at the superintendent's office.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Thank you, sir.
Any further questions, discussions, additions, subtractions, reductions? There's a lot, I know there's a lot of items, so I just want to make sure we're good to go before I call for a vote. Okay, there being none, there's a motion by Mr. Varela, and there was seconded by Mr. Peña. All those in favor so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign, motion carries. Item 23 was excluded from that motion because there is one issue that involves safety, and we're required to go into executive to discuss that. So we will go into executive to discuss that issue and then come out and vote out in open once that is conducted. So the board will now convene in closed session in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code Sections 551.071 through 551.076 and 551.082 through 551.084. The time is 12:11 p.m. All right, we reconvene back in open session. In Section 5, before we proceed with executive session items, we did have an open session item pending. That's item 23, which is consider and take possible action on 2023 Student Handbook, Student Code of Conduct, and Student Extracurricular Code of Conduct. Do I have a motion or any discussion on item 23?
Mr. President, I move that we approve item 23 in the sense that we approve only the handbooks, and the other exceptions that we were looking at, leave them for a later meeting.
Okay, There's a
Second.
there's a motion by Mr. Vedaz, second by Mrs. Colares. Is there any discussion required? There being none, all those in favor so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign, motion carries. Do I have a motion on executive item session, item A, I'm sorry.
Mr. President, I move that we approve item A, B, and C as discussed in executive session.
There's a motion by Mr. Varela to approve items A through C. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Mr. Peña. All those in favor so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign, motion carries. Do I have a motion on item D?
Mr. President, I move that we approve item D with the real estate discussion as discussed in executive session. Correct, Walter?
That's correct, and we'll also have the record reflect that Mr. Castillo was not present in executive session during the discussion, and I'm assuming Mr. Castillo is going to abstain from the vote.
I'll be abstaining from D1.
That is correct, okay. There's a motion by Mr. Varela. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Mr. Peña. All those in favor so signify by raising your right hand. With a vote of 6 in favor and 1 abstention by Mr. Castillo, the motion hereby passes. And this meeting is hereby adjourned. It's 1:24 p.m. Thank you so very much.